Hey there folks, Mandatory79 here, and welcome to an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Deck Profiles. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a deck profile for the... Let me just show you first, let me log in. Connecting, okay. Here we are, the menu screen. Let me just show you the deck profile I'm going to be showing you one for is this one. E.Heroes 6 attributes it's pretty much an elemental hero deck using all 6 attributes. Here it is. First, the 40 cards in the main deck. Here's 2 elemental heroes, Sparkmans, normal monster, light attribute. Basically, only plays 1600 attack points, 1400 defense points. Pretty basic monster for level 4, but pretty okay. So, next, I'm also playing 2 Necro Gardenas, level 3, dark attribute. An effect monster. Its effect is during the opponent's turn, I can banish this monster from my graveyard to negate an attack from one of my opponent's monster. This is a quick effect, so pretty much Necro Gardener can be used as a dark attribute fusion material and a defensive monster by, using him. If I manage to send him to the graveyard, I can use this effect to negate one opponent attack. So next, I'm also playing 3 Elemental Hero Stratus, Wind attribute, level 4, effect monster. When this monster is normal or special summon, I can activate one of the effects. Destroy spells and traps on the field up to the number of hero monsters I control except this card, and add 1 hero monster from your deck to your hand. So this monster is pretty much a good way to add elemental heroes from your deck to your hand to use as fusion materials for summoning, and this first effect can also be used to destroy spells and traps, mainly your opponent's ones, if you find any of them to be preventing you from making any of their moves. So then next, I'm also playing 3 Elemental Hero Blazemans, Fire attribute, level 4, Warrior, effect monster. Its effect is when normal summoned or special summoned, I can add a polymerization from my deck to my hand. During the main phase, I can activate its effect. I cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except fusion monsters. Also send 1 elemental hero monster from my deck to the graveyard, except Blazeman. If I do, this card's attribute, attack, and defense becomes the same as the monster sent to the graveyard. Until the end of this turn, you can only use 1 elemental hero Blazeman effect per turn, and only once per turn. So, yep, Blazeman's effect will let me search my deck for polymerization to perform fusion summons, and also his second effect will let him become any elemental hero that I have in my deck, meaning he can be a semi-universal fusion material monster from the field. So yeah, it's mainly a good card for if you want to focus on fusion summoning with the elemental heroes. Next, I'm playing 3 elemental heroes, Solid Soldiers, Earth attribute, level 4, effect monster. When this monster is normal summoned, I can special summon a level 4 or lower hero monster from my hand. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by a spell effect, I can target 1 hero monster in my graveyard except Solid Soldier and special summon it in defense mode. I can only use the second effect of Solid Soldier once per turn. So yeah, Solid Soldier lets me special summon heroes from my hand. It's also level 4 or below, so it's a good way to combo with Stratos or Blazeman, whose effects are also activated when special summoned. So I can use Solid Soldier as a good way to, special summon these guys from my hand to either search for a hero in my hand or destroy spells and traps, or to search my deck for polymerization to perform fusion summons with. So, yep, pretty good card to have for this guy. Next, 3 Elemental Hero Liquid Soldiers, level 4, Water attribute. His effect is when normal summoned, I can target a level 4 or below hero monster in my graveyard, except Solid Soldier, and special summon it. I can also it's also got a second effect when used as fusion material for a hero monster and sent to the graveyard or banished. I can draw 2 cards and discard 1. I can only use 1 effect of Liquid Soldier once per turn and only once per turn. So Liquid Soldier's first effect is that you special summon monsters from the graveyard, like maybe Stratos or Blazeman. But his second effect is the main reason I use him, since he lets me draw more cards. So it's pretty much a replacement for Elemental Hero Bubbleman, and more easily usable. And yep. So next, 2 Elemental Hero Honest Neos. Level 7, Light Attribute. Effect Monster. His monster effect is a quick effect. By discarding this card, I can target a hero on my field and it gains 2,500 attack points till the end of the turn. So it's more or less a good quick effect for battles. So in case when I attack or one of my heroes get attacked, I can give them 2,500 attack points. So, and then Honest Neos is the second effect. When he's on the field, I can discard a hero monster in my hand, and Honest Neos gains the attack points of the discarded monster until the end of the turn. So whether he's being discarded from the hand or being on my field, he can add increased attack points. So yeah, it's a pretty good card to have if you play mainly only hero monsters like the Elemental Heroes. Next, I played 2 Polymerizations, the basic fusion card for fusion decks. It lets you fusion summon from your hand and field, so yep, it's a pretty basic card, don't need to explain any further. Next, 1 Reinforcement of the Army. This card lets me add a level 4 below warrior type monster from my deck to my hands. Basically any of these level 4 below heroes or Necro Gardener. In case I want to, use him as fusion material to get him in the graveyard quicker to have him ready to negate attacks in the opponent's next turn. Okay. Then I played 3 Miracle Fusions, the other fusion card, 1 mainly for Elemental Heroes. I can fusion summon an Elemental Hero fusion monster by banishing the fusion materials from my field or grave. So yeah, so it's pretty much a good card to use when you combo it with Liquid Soldier, since he's drawing effect and discarding effect can be activated regardless if he's sent to the graveyard or banished. So okay, so next, 3 emergency calls. I can search my deck for any Elemental Hero and add it to my hand. So any of these heroes, and that includes Honest Neos, who having in your hand will be a good offensive and defensive counter. So yeah. So basically, I have Reinforcement of the Army and Emergency Call, and Stratos let me search my deck for specific monsters I want to add to my hand for various purposes, whether it's summoning, adding more cards, or adding attack points, or fusion summoning. Next, I play 1 Fusion Substitute. This card is treated as the same as Polymerization, meaning any effects that search for Polymerization, like Blazeman, I can also add this card as a possibility. Fusion Substitute's effect is it only uses monsters in my field to fusion summon, and it's a second effect from the graveyard. By banishing this card from my graveyard and sending a fusion monster from my graveyard to the extra deck, I can draw 1 card. Though not as versatile as Polymerization or Miracle Fusion, it's just having 1 could be a good way to add an extra card on your hand in a case of a pinch. So yeah. The next 2 equip spells. Favorite Hero. It can only be equipped to a level 5 or higher hero monster. If I control a card in the field spell zone, the equipped monster gains attack points equal to its original defense points. Also, the opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects. At the start of the battle phase, I can activate a field spell directly from my hand or deck. I can only use the effect of Favorite Hero once per turn. When the equipped monster attacks and destroys an opponent's monster in battle, you can send it to the graveyard, and the attacking monster can make a second attack in a row. So overall, this equip spell is pretty good for elemental heroes. You play the high level ones like Honest Neos or these fusion monsters. Since this equip spell will let you search your deck for a specific field spell or add attack points, make it semi-invincible to monster effects, and by sacrificing this equip spell, you can attack again. So it's a pretty good offensive and semi-defensive equip card. Next, I play one field spell Skyscraper. Its effect is, if an elemental hero attacks a monster of high attack, during the damage calculation, it gets 1,000 attack points. So since seeing as how most main deck elemental heroes don't have that much attack points, it's a pretty okay field spell to have. Iconic, and well, like I said before, it's a good field spell to use with favorite hero, since favorite hero can search for this field spell and activate it during the battle phase. So even the monsters, other hero monsters you have that aren't equipped with favorite hero will get a slight power boost if your opponent has higher attack point monsters. The next, I got another field spell, the Fusion Recycling Plant. Its effect is, once per turn, I can discard a card and add Polymerization from my deck or graveyard to my hand. The first effect is pretty much an alternative to Elemental Hero Blazeman's effect. In case I cannot add him, I can also use this field spell to add Polymerization from my deck or back from my graveyard. Then once per turn during the end phase, I can target a fusion material monster in my graveyard and add it to my hand. So it can be pretty much used when I use Polymerization or Fusion Substitute to fuse monsters, and I can then use this field spell's second effect and add it back to my hand for whatever purposes I want. Maybe like Honest Neos, for example, if I discarded it by fusion summoning instead of its own effects. And then I play two quick play spell cards. The Mystical Space Typhoon. It's a pretty basic card. It destroys one spell or trap on the field. And since it's a quick play spell, it can be used anytime. So, yep, its effect says it all. There's no further explanations needed. The next, I play two Super Polymerizations. Quick play spell card. Its effect is, I discard one card and fusion summon a monster from my extra deck using monsters from either player's field, and includes my opponent's field. And neither player can activate cards or effect in response to this card's activation. So this another fusion card that lets me fusion summon, and the best part is it can use monsters in my opponent's field. So if you had it face down in your spell and trap zone, and if your opponent summons their key monster, if you've already got a hero who can use it for fusion on your field, you can just activate it, rob your opponent of his best monster, and use it to summon your own best monster. Okay, then next I play one Flash Fusion, quick one spell card. I can fusion summon a monster by using monsters on my own field. The fused monster is destroyed at the end phase, so basically it's an alternative card to Super Polymerization, since I can only play two of this card for now. So yep, it's basically meant to let me fusion summon in the last minute for either an extra attack or to avoid early destruction. But unlike Super Polymerization, some of the monster will be destroyed, so it's mainly used for getting at least one extra attack if you're sure you can finish the battle in that one turn. So alright, then next, three trap cards by Geki Break. Its effect is, discard a card, destroy a card in the field, basic effect. So the discard one effect is a good way to add Necrogardna to my graveyard and to destroy an opponent's card. So yep, pretty basic trap card, no further explanations needed, so that just about covers it for the main deck. Next, let's go to the extra deck. I play mainly all fusion monsters and a couple of link monsters. So first I play two Elemental Hero Gaias, level 6, 2200 attack points, Earth Attribute. Its effect is, when fusion summoned, target a face-up monster the opponent controls until the end phase. Its attack points are held, and those attack points are added to Gaia till the end of the turn. So, yep. Gaia's pretty much offensive card. So you can cut one of your opponent's monsters' attack points in half and give it to Gaia. So, giving Gaia more attack points for attacking, and you can also make an opponent's key monster weaker. That's what you want. So, yep, it's a pretty good fusion monster. It uses an elemental hero and an earth attribute monster. So no specific monsters needed. Just fill these base requirements. So you can almost always get this one. Okay, the next elemental hero, Grand Merger, fusion monster, level 6. 0 attack points, 0 defense points. Its fusion material requirements are 2 normal hero monsters. Pretty much 2 normal monsters like Sparkman. When fusion summoned, Grand Merger gains the attack and defense points of the combined original levels of the fusion materials by times 300. So for example, if I fuse 2 Sparkmen, which are level 4, so then that's pretty much 2400 attack and defense points if I use only Sparkman. So yep, so his attack points can be higher or lesser depending on the fusion materials, but yeah, like I explained before, I only play Sparkman, it's the only normal monster, so 2400 is the highest you can go for now. Then there's another effect of Grand Merger. When he destroys an opponent's monster in battle, I can tribute Grand Merger and special summon a elemental hero fusion monster from my extra deck, ignoring its summoning requirements and summoning conditions, but it cannot attack monsters of an equal or lower level for it. So I can pretty much search my extra deck and special summon any of my other elemental hero fusion monsters. And not to mention, since he's tributing himself, I can also use Fusion Substitute's second effect to, send Grand Merger back to the extra deck and draw an extra card. So that's one way to combo it. So yeah. Then next, I play 2 Elemental Hero Sunrises. Level 7, Light Attribute. Its fusion materials are 2 hero monsters with different attributes. So, any hero monster, as long as their 2 attributes are different to each other, then let's see. This monster gains 200 attack points for each different attribute you control. Since there are technically at least 6 attributes, so at most you can get, if you can get a full field of all the attributes out, it'll be maximum 1200 attack points to all your monsters. And then there's another effect of Sunrise. When this card is special summoned, I can add a Miracle Fusion from my deck to my hand, so that way I can straight away do more fusion summons to, like I said before, fill up my field with more different attributes to add on to the first effect to get slightly more attack points. And then Sunrise is the second effect. When another hero monster on my field declares an attack, I can target one card on the field and destroy it. So any card, like an opponent's monster or an opponent's spell or trap card. So Sunrise overall is a good way to add Miracle Fusion to your hand to perform more fusion summons or get more attributes out to increase attack points, and also his second effect will let you destroy cards on the field as long as you hit another hero monster on the field to attack with. Overall, this guy's the main monster of this deck, Sunrise, so good fusion monster to have for Elemental Heroes. Then next, the Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, level 8, Water Attribute. Its effect is, its fusion requirements are 1 hero and 1 water monster. So, yep, any hero and at least 1 water monster, like with the soldier. And then his effect is, he gains 500 attack points for each water monster on the field, including himself. At the basic least 3000 if I just absolute zero, and Oh, except Absolute Zero. Scratch that, never mind. It only can add other elemental hero water attributes to his own attack points, like Liquid Soldier. So, and then his second effect is when he leaves the field, I can destroy all monsters my opponent controls. So, leaving the field, not destroy. So I can activate the second effect if I use Absolute Zero as material for fusion or for link summoning. That way I can destroy opponent's fields and, get another monster. So Absolute Zero, a pretty good destructive card. Then I played 2 Elemental Hero Shinings as well. Level 8, Light Attribute, Fusion Materials are an Elemental Hero and a Light Attribute monster. Let's see then, this card gains 300 attack points for each banished Elemental Hero. So, yep, every Elemental Hero that's removed from play adds up to his attack points, which works well with Sunrise since he can let me add Miracle Fusion, which lets me banish monsters to fusion summon with. And then there's a second effect for the Shining. When he's sent from the field to the graveyard, I can target up to banished Elemental Heroes and add it to my hand. So basically, if I use Miracle Fusion, I can add those fusion materials back to my hand in the event that the Shining leaves my field. Okay, then next I play 1 Elemental Hero, Great Tornado, level 8, Wind Attribute, Fusion Materials are Elemental Hero, and 1 Wind Monster. Okay, and his effect is when Fusion summons, he howls the attack and defense of all face-up monster my opponent currently controls. Basically, he's a widespread effect of the Gaia, except he doesn't get the attack points, but the good part of this effect is it lasts for as long as those monsters affected by the effect remain. So unlike Gaia, whose howling and powering up effect only lasts till the end of the turn activated, Great Tornado can semi-permanently reduce your opponent's attack power when fusion summons. So just having 1's a pretty good card for attacking mainly. So okay, then next 1 Elemental Hero Nova Master, level 8, Fire Attribute. Summoning requirements are 1 Elemental Hero and 1 Fire Monster. When this card destroys an opponent's monster in battle, draw 1 card. Pretty basic effect, but that says it all. Summoning this monster, you can destroy an opponent's monster and draw 1 card, which works well with the quick spell Another Favorite Hero, since when I destroy an opponent's monster, I can draw a card, and if you can combo with Favorite Hero, which by tributing this effects card, you can have the attacking monster attack again. So in ideal conditions, Nova Master can at least get you an extra card when finishing attacking, but with another hero, and if the opponent has the right monster to attack with, Nova Master will let you draw at most 2 cards with this combo. And then there's 1 Elemental Hero Espiridio, level 8, Dark Attribute. He gains 100 attack points for every Elemental Hero in the graveyard. So in this way, this card gets a slight attack boost, but it's pretty good since my deck plays a lot of cards that let me discard cards like Super Polymerization, Liquid Soldier, let's see, Raigeki Break, and so forth. It's a good monster to have if you've got like a whole bunch of Elemental Heroes in your graveyard to add up to this Dark Attribute monster attack points. Okay. Next, I played 2 Extra Hero Wonder Driver Link Monster. Its summoning materials are 2 Hero Monster. If a Hero Monster is either normal or special summon on the zone where this card's Link arrow is pointing to, which is down, I can add a Fusion spell card or change Quick Play spell card from my graveyard and set it face down the field. So if you can, summon a special or normal summon a Hero Monster to where the Link arrow of this extra hero is pointing to, you can pretty much add back either like cards like Miracle Fusion, Polymerization, Fusion Substitute, or Super Polymerization or Flash Fusion, add them back to your field so you can use them to Fusion Summon. And then there's a second effect of Wonder Driver. If destroyed in battle, then this card in your position is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, I can special summon a hero from my hand. So, you know, even though its attack points are pretty low, it can still give you a slight, field okay advantage, since if you have a hero in your hand, like perhaps Blazeman, Stratos, or Solid Soldier, you can combo their on summon effects with Wonder Driver's second effect, which you special summon them when destroyed and weak or have left the field. So overall, this Link monster is a good way for you to add fusion cards back to your field from your graveyard, or to special summon specific heroes you want to combo with that have also on summon abilities. And finally, the last part, extra hero, Dread Decimator, Link monster, Link 3, Dark attribute, summoning requirements, 2 or more hero monsters. This card, also any monster it points to, gains 100 attack points for each hero with a different name in the graveyard. His arrows are, let's see, lower left, down, and lower right. So if he's placed on the extra monster zone, any monsters on the main monster zones that this guy's points to will get a slight attack point boost for every different hero. Since I play, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So not counting Dread Decimator, I have 15 different heroes. Ideally, maximum, he'll get 1500 attack points, but it's only a maximum effect. But overall, it's a pretty good card to have, since his second effect is a piercing one. When attacking a weaker defense position monster, it inflicts piercing battle damage. So this monster is mainly used for giving your available main monster zone heroes slight attack point advantage, and also for inflicting piercing damage to monsters who have lower defense points. And yep, overall that's the deck profile I just showed you. An Elemental Hero 6 attributes deck. Main monster is Elemental Hero Sunrise, and like I said before, this Elemental Hero deck uses all 6 attributes, focuses on fusion summoning, but a little support from link summoning. And yeah, so thanks again for watching this video, and if you have any advice or comments about this deck profile I just built up, feel free to write down the comments, and stay tuned for any more videos I plan to upload in the near future. And maybe you can also show your support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all.